Stay tuned to get my independent and unbiased view on the Samuel Leeds Property Training Academy based on my own experience and not of social media bullshit. After many years in property and many years of experience with different property training businesses, I decided to join the Samuel Leeds Academy on a 1-month trial. This trial was offered to anybody who'd carried out a Touchstone Education Mastermind, and I did this in 2021. So I decided it'd be a good opportunity to pitch one against the other and to see how they compared. This is the video where Samuel made the offer to everybody publicly. This isn't a personal offer. This is something that was offered to many people on the public video, which you can still see today. In the video, I'm going to expose all the ins and outs from deep inside the academy, so make sure you watch it to the end. I urge you to watch it with an open mind. Take my real experience as opposed to what you may have heard or what you may have seen on social media, and make your own mind up. My first experience of the Samuel Leeds Academy was an inner circle event. These events are held all over the country on a monthly basis and are only open to Academy members and specially invited guests. I went to the Leeds event and had a really good time, if I'm honest. Everybody at the event was positive, all willing to help and talk about the Academy. They all knew I was just literally there as a guest and were very open in their experiences of what benefits they've had of joining the Academy. Now, one lady actually showed me the Academy app. So this is an app available on your phone and on PC, etc., which gives you access to all of the Academy services, benefits, facilities, and that looked really, really good from my brief experience of her showing me it before the meeting. So the Inner Circle networking events are organised monthly across the country by different people from within the Academy. The format is basically a sit down, you introduce yourself, and you then get an opportunity to have 3 10-minute one-to-ones with somebody of your choice. And after that, it's open networking and a guest speaker. And the guest speakers are generally Academy members who have achieved different things within the Academy and often from other areas of the country. Everybody at the Inner Circle event was very friendly, very positive, and it was a very well organised event. The speaker at this Leeds Inner Circle event was a chap called Billy Cooner, and Billy is pretty well established in the Academy. He's achieved some good things, but also the interesting point for me was that he's just signed up for his 4th year within the Academy. Now, we said this is because of the amazing benefit and value he gets from the network in the Academy. So that was really interesting to see. Now, you may know I did a review on Samuel's £1 crash course in January this year. That review was based on, again, my experience of attending the event and my expectations of the event as well. Now, I also did another event, which was a Stephen Green property training event. And I have to say the difference in response I got from Samuel Leeds and Stephen Green was night and day. Stephen Green decided to slate me on social media, on Facebook. He posted my first year company accounts of one of my businesses and said I was making no money. He said I was a blagger and a fake, and he even sat on his sofa with his phone one night and recorded a video taunting me, which was just ridiculous. He was keen to remind me on numerous occasions that he was in the army, his mates are in the SAS, and he was hard and all this stuff. Basically just trying to bully me and ridicule me in front of other people on social media. Apparently, I've since been told by somebody in his network that his social media accounts have been deleted by Facebook and Instagram because of the hatred and bullying tactics, presumably of myself and other people. Who knows? I blocked him, so I'm not really sure. In contrast, the response I got from Samuel Leeds was drastically different. So I actually tagged him in the little Facebook video, and he thanked me, commented for my review, and that was really, really good to get. But then a week or so later, one Sunday afternoon, I was sat in the house and my mobile went, didn't recognise the number, which usually results in me not accepting a call, if I'm honest. But for some reason, I took the call. They said, "Hi, Jason, it's Samuel. Just wanted to give you a call and thank you for your honest video, good and bad, and have a chat, see if there's anything I can do to help you." And we literally had I'm guessing a 15-minute, 20-minute chat that Sunday afternoon, completely off the cuff. I had not approached Samuel at all, but he'd taken the time out to reach out to me for whatever reason and offer that help and his thanks. So that actually went a long way. Went a long way with me, because we all have preconceived ideas of people, and our views are tainted by social media and the media, by mainstream media. So that was a bit of a surprise for me, but a pleasant one. So I've signed up for the 1-month trial so I can get a comparison, as many others Touchstone Mastermind members have. We've paid £1,000 for the trial, and within that trial we get a 4-day in-person training event, and we get full access to all of the benefits of Academy members. There is a full refund of the £1,000 available to everybody who signed up for this trial. We get access to the Academy app, which I'll show you some screenshots of now. As you can see, there's multiple features within that app. I'm not going to show you any of the detailed information in there, but there is a lot of information behind each of these tiles you can see here. We get access to 5 live webinars every week. These are either with different mentors or with Samuel himself, and are a great way to keep in touch and keep motivated while you're not at in-person events. We get deal analysis and check-ins. We can send deals in. We can record calls with agents, and they'll be reviewed and give us advice on how to deal with agents differently. We get access to all of the mentors. We can book multiple, unlimited amount of calls with different mentors, and the mentors range from general property mentors to solicitors and accountants. We have a deal selling app where we can sell deals onto other investors. We have a mediation scheme. We have bridging finance, which is directly from Samuel Leeds, and full access to all the documents and contracts you'd ever need. So I signed up for the 4-day HMO and SA training. Now, those of you that know me and know my background might be wondering why I signed up for HMO training. Well, I signed up for HMO training because what better subject for me to be able to evaluate and give an honest and educated analysis of, or viewpoint of, somebody carrying out that training. So I didn't go with the goal of learning about HMOs. I went with the goal of getting a proper view of the level of training and the quality of training that Samuel gives in the in-person training events. I sat there and pre-guessed what Samuel would be saying next, based on what I would be saying next. And I was pleasantly surprised that he covered almost all subjects, all points, all aspects of HMOs that I would have expected him to cover. Could he have gone into more detail? Absolutely. But I'm saying that from the point of being a specialist HMO management agent and developer. So I wouldn't expect him to go into that much detail for those looking to start getting involved in HMOs or serviced accommodation. There were things like HHSRS, which wasn't mentioned, but again, a lot of agents don't even know about HHSRS, so I can hardly really hold that as a negative on the training, because it is something which is quite specialist. The 4 days were absolutely jam-packed with value. So we registered in the morning about 8:30, and we went on until 9 o'clock at night. We had a couple of breaks, we broke for food, but generally the days were absolutely non-stop, whether that be sat listening to one of the speakers, whether that Samuel or one of the others, or carrying out tasks, going away, making calls, ringing up agents, booking viewings, doing deals. So it was very much a number of sessions where you were hands-on, you were involved, you were carrying out activities, and Samuel did that himself on stage as well. So at one point we were looking for HMO opportunities on Rightmove. He found an opportunity, he called the agent. He booked a viewing for the next day, even though he wasn't available because he was training the people in the academy. He used Viewer to do the viewing. He got a video report back the following day. He made an offer live on stage. The element was really, really good. On the third day, the evening of the Thursday, we had an inner circle dinner, and this is the same on every 4-day course that he does, where all academy members are able to travel and come to the event and have a free meal, drinks, and a networking session with a guest speaker. And this was really well attended because there were literally, I'm guessing, between 350 and 500 people, which were all fed, watered, and entertained for the evening. And it was a fantastic evening as well. Lots of networking, lots of interesting people. So it was really, really good. So back to the event. Yeah, really good event on the Thursday evening. And lots of people attended who were on the training course, which again showed me a lot about the people in the academy being committed and dedicated and putting the time and effort in to drive their businesses forward. So it's clear that there's been a lot of money invested into the academy, both in the app I mentioned, but also in the event itself in terms of the amount of time and effort that's put into it, the number of staff that are there, the mentors as well. So that within the conference centre where the event's held, there's a specific area for mentors, and there's probably 8 or 10 mentors, I'm guessing, where anybody can book using a QR code a session with one of the mentors. And obviously they've all got their own specialities, whether that be Tatiana, the solicitor, or one of the others. So you can book as many mentor sessions as you want during that 4 days. And that was a massive, massive resource for people. And there were people queuing up to book those sessions. So that was really, really good. And just another example of the amount of time and effort that goes into the academy as a whole, but also into these 4-day events. As I said, there was a lot of live action going on. So there was Samuel doing things on stage live to show examples. So at one point he did an analysis of a HMO area, and he picked Hull, knowing I was from Hull, and analysed some of our spare room ads, but also ads from other agents. And then he gave his view on the market within Hull based on what he could see online, and then asked me to give my viewpoint as an agent, a specialist HMO agent in Hull, on his review. And it was pretty good. It was pretty spot on. Obviously, I was able to give a lot more in-depth knowledge in terms of the Hull HMO market, but it was a really good session and gave me quite a bit of exposure to the rest of the room of 300 people or so. So yeah, a really big and worthwhile event. Last week I went back to the Leeds Inner Circle for a second time, so sneaked a little second time in there, and I also took a guest with me. So a friend of mine who was based in Bradford, Tim, I took him to the event, and I was keen to understand. It's really easy sometimes to get sucked into these things, or feel you're getting sucked in, and not have a realistic viewpoint of something. So I wanted a grounded viewpoint from somebody who's not been exposed to the rest of the academy and just seen this one Inner Circle event. And Tim was really surprised, I think, by what he saw. It's from the start, they're a great networking event. Take it, put that event anywhere on its own, and it's a great networking event. But I think Tim was more surprised by them in the room, the positivity, the amount of people, because everybody introduces themselves and explains what they're doing, what they're currently up to in property. He was surprised by the amount of people in the room who are actively doing property stuff. So these people are living the academy, they've paid their money, and they're driving the businesses forward. And Tim actually said it's a bit like a cult. And I think what he meant by that was it's a bit like a cult because you don't normally get groups of people so like-minded and enthusiastic about the same subject in one place, other than somewhere where it's a cult. And I don't think he was being derogatory by that. It was just the only thing that came to his mind to explain the bizarre behaviour of those at the event. So, yeah, that was a real positive and another great networking event in Leeds. How does it compare to Touchstone? Well, I think it's fair to say that Touchstone and the Samuel Leeds Academy couldn't be further apart. There is absolutely no comparison in terms of the cost for one, the value for money. So just nipping back to cost 12 grand for the Samuel Leeds Academy. The Touchstone Academy is advertised, I think, at 22 plus VAT, £22,000 plus VAT. But I do understand that they still sell it for 15,000 as a special deal. But it's not worth 15 grand. Literally, it's not worth 15 grand. You get a bit of online training. You get a 20-minute or something call with a mentor, or one call per month with a mentor. With Touchstone, it's shite. I've got to be honest. I signed up in 2021 and I did 9 months of the 12 and I just didn't bother going back. I actually contacted them 3 times in the last month to see if, because I'd not finished my 12 months and I'm apparently a lifetime member to their academy, could I go back? Is there any events I could go to? And I had some replies but no answers, including Abby Hookway. Messaged her a couple of times on Messenger and Instagram, and she said she didn't know, which was quite surprising as she's the face of Touchstone nowadays. But yeah, going back to the comparison, there literally is no comparison. The resources and access to people, the network, everything on the Samuel Leeds Academy. I'm almost embarrassed to say it. Let me just say this. I'm almost embarrassed because within certainly my circle of property people, Samuel Leeds has got one of the worst reputations, I think. I think that's fair to say. Is it a fair reputation? In my experience now, having been within the training, the academy, I would have to say no, it's not. Because I've seen some genuine glimpses. Glimpses is probably not the right term, but I've seen instances is probably the right term. I've seen some genuine instances of Samuel really caring about people within his academy. I'm not going to go into details, but I was on one of the 5 live webinars, the Monday night webinar, and that's a closed webinar session with academy members only. So there's no outsiders in there, there's no press, no publicity, there's nothing. It's very laid back, it's very one-to-one, and Samuel will just call out people on the Zoom session and ask them how it's going and just talk about stuff. And he's got a very good memory for what people are up to. So if you say you're doing this next week or a few weeks after, he'll ask you how it's gone. So he did that to somebody in the session, and they'd had a bad experience with an SA unit and it had been trashed. I'm not going to go into details, but he offered a solution I would never have dreamt in a million years he would have offered, and it showed me he genuinely cared. Now, I saw instances of that, similar instances, throughout the month of being an academy member, and I've seen a different side to the one we see chainsawing down front doors and, doing other crazy stuff, because that's social media, that's marketing. That's not what you get as part of the academy. Would I recommend the academy? Absolutely yes. I would recommend it for you if you are just looking to get into property, need the training and need the support and the accountability, or whether you're a seasoned professional within the property industry who's looking to get into other aspects, or like me, I would benefit from the network and the accountability and the support. That network is absolutely priceless. And put aside any negativity you've heard, because there has been quite a lot of it, which I would say is unfounded. And I'm going to talk about right now something which is quite a sensitive subject. There was a chap called Danny Butcher. You may well have heard of him, and a few years ago he took his own life. He was from Doncaster and he'd got himself into a load of debt and, as I say, took his own life. The press and other people blamed Samuel Leeds for that death. But what they didn't report was that he was in debt before that, before he joined the academy. He took a loan out to get married after joining the academy and took out more debt. And he also had a history of mental health issues. So to put that at somebody's personal responsibility, that, you know, the fact that he took his own life, is really, really shit. And I don't know all the ins and outs of it. I don't know him or his family, but I do know that, you know, the press jumped on that and people jumped on that like they do, you know, kick somebody while they think they're down. I don't believe he was responsible for that whatsoever. And the inquest, as far as I'm aware, also agreed that he wasn't responsible in any way for Danny taking his own life. You know, it's a touchy subject and a sensitive subject, but it shows what extent the media will portray somebody just to get views, and you mustn't believe everything you hear on social media, whether that's in the media or on Facebook or anywhere else. Make your own mind up. Now, I'm going to probably get a lot of flack, and I've already got some flack for this. So you'll see Kevin's comments here when I posted at the event, at the 4-day event. He clearly was surprised I was at the event, and he wasn't best impressed, to say the least. But do you know what? I decided to do this trial and to go to the events and so on to make my own mind up. Why am I qualified to do that? Well, I'm qualified to do that because I've been in property for quite a long time. I've done some big projects and I've experience of lots of other property trainers. So I thought, going to this, I can make my own mind up and get an untainted view of what it's really like within the academy. Who shouldn't join the academy? Well, if you're somebody who's always looking for a reason for it not happening, is always going to blame somebody else, always unwilling to get off your chair and take action to do things and make things happen, then don't bother, save your money. Because this and any other training opportunity, mentorship, whatever you want to call it, are only ever going to be as good as you are. You're going to make it happen. Nobody else is going to make it happen. They're just going to give you all the tools. This is a toolbox to enable you to do whatever you want within property. If you're thinking about something like this, I urge you to make your own mind up. Go to the £1 crash course. There's a link below. Who shouldn't join the academy? Well, if you're the sort of person who's always got an excuse for not doing something, I wouldn't bother. Save your money. If you're not open to getting out of your comfort zone and pushing yourself, don't bother. Save your money. If you wouldn't benefit from having a bigger and better network of like-minded people, don't bother. If you're happy to be a loser, don't bother. There's a link below. Register for the £1 crash course and you'll get an insight into what's possible. Don't be fooled when you go to the crash course thinking it's going to teach you how to do all of this stuff within property. It's not. It's a sales funnel. It's designed to show you the wow, not the how. The full academy, the 4-day in-person training events are the way you learn how. Go to the £1 crash course and then make the informed decision on whether you're going to take this any further or whether you've just had a good day out.